Everyone, welcome to this special edition of your edition. And I'm sure you all are safe at your home and taking good care of yourself and your loved ones. Today, we have with us the esteemed speaker for today's important topic, personal branding. And today, we have with us the esteemed speaker, Madam Jayashree Sundar, the former President North, Leo Burnett, and earlier Lintas. Um, Ma'am, welcome on behalf of Dr. Vishwanath Karat, MIT World Peace University. I welcome you on behalf of everyone present here today. Uh, Ma'am, I'll quickly share with you that for next, I'll take the privilege of introducing you, after which I would request you to address this entire gathering. Around 45 minutes, we will be having this talk, after which around 15 to 20 minutes would be for questions and answers.
Sure.
So whichever questions would come, I will collect them all and I'll ask you the questions one after the other. And I'm really, really happy to share with you that our Honorable Beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. N.T. Rao, has joined us today for this webinar. And I welcome him also. I would like to request him towards the end, after we are done with the question and answers, to propose the concluding remarks. Once again, I welcome each one of you, and thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I thank you for joining us today. And it is my honor and privilege to introduce her to all of you now. A gold medalist from University of Mumbai and an MBA from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, Madam Jayashree was always passionate about consumer insights. She started her career at Times of India, but went on to spend 17 years at Lintas, where she was known for her work with clients like Cadbury, Johnson & Johnson, Maruti Suzuki, ICI, Gillette, Parker, and many, many, many more. She was the Senior Associate Director and Executive Board Member at the end of 17 years there, and then went on to join Leo Burnett as President North for next 5 years. Known for her infamously good new business record, some for favorite moments at Leo Burnett include winning the national campaign that brought the Congress to power in year 2004, the Aam Aadmi campaign, and businesses like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Aircel, Tetra Pak, etc. Madam Jayashree is obsessed with the latest consumer trends, Bollywood, political news, and she enjoys writing and travel. She teaches using a lot of metaphors from the world of cricket and films, as also the current affairs. She is an avid observer of people and loves all form of communication. She's been a trainer in both her companies and has a course to dance, AdFest, Godfest, etc. In her tenure at both agencies, she and her teams won a number of creative and strategic awards. She has done a course in brand equity at the Rotten Business School. She has switched to academic world since year 2007 and has taught at IIM Shillong from year 2010 to 2014, Forest School of Management, School of Inspired Leadership, SOIL, NIIT Imperia, Amite, Times School of Marketing, BML, Munjal University, Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai, and few others, including management development programs. Ma'am, it is really, really our honor and privilege to have you here today. Thank you very much for joining us. And without taking any time now, I hand over the control to you, and we all are eagerly waiting to hear you. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you so much. It's indeed a privilege and an honor to be here with all of you. And I thank each and everyone who has tuned in today. And let's spend a good 45 minutes understanding what is building a personal brand is. Now, you all know mass media brands, right? You know Reliance Jio, you know LG, you know Samsung, you know Coke, you know Pepsi. And there are lots and lots of years of rupee investment that goes into building a mass media brand. So what is this entity called a personal brand? Okay, and I would say that, it's a pretty new concept. Even 10 years ago, I mean, your personal brand or the way you came across to somebody would be the visiting card that you had or the way you dressed. And if you were really high up or, somebody who's very well known, then you may have got called to an interview or, or been on the cover of a magazine or had a little bit of press coverage. But today, the world is a very different place. And 70 to 80% of the conversation that is taking place in the world is happening online. And we better recognize it and we better get moving on it. And it's pretty fun and easy to do. Today's session, I am intending to just open up our minds and leave us with a few concepts that help you to start thinking about it and then going ahead and building your personal brand. A little bit of data I was looking at. There are 4.5 billion users of the internet, of which 3.8 billion users are on social media. And 2.5 hours per day, a person spends between the top 8 social media platforms. So obviously something is going on there. It is not just somewhere where you can paste holiday pictures, okay? So I'm going to sort of take this concept through today, and let's just have a lot of fun. I've made it full of examples. So whatever I say, I'm going to try to bring it to life with examples. And this is my most favorite quote on personal branding. It's by Jeff Bezos, who's the founder and CEO of Amazon.com. And all the examples, most of the examples I've taken are not of people who were rich, born rich, or, had the silver spoon in the mouth. These are people who are modest, some of them even poor, and what they made of themselves. So, at 17 years old, Jeff Bezos got a whole heap of young people into his garage and said, let's think of doing old ideas in a new way. So, from a young age, he was thinking differently. And he says, branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So what are people saying about you? Is it chaotic? Is it random? Is it just something? Or are you channeling it? Are you channeling it? Are you thinking about it and planning what you're going to put out there? Because having a strong personal brand is definitely going to help you to succeed in life, professionally and otherwise. Okay, so coming back to Jeff Bezos, he was a senior vice president in a hedge fund, doing pretty well. But his thing in life, his differentiator is that he likes to look for trends. And one of the trends he found was that the internet was growing at 2,400% at that time. And he told his wife that you have to support me. I want to quit and open a bookstore. We'll do an e-commerce bookstore and just see where Amazon is today. But till today, he's not lost that differentiating thing of him as a person, which is, he keeps looking for trends. So whenever he finds something new, he works on it, his company works on it, and therefore they're so successful. We can't start this presentation without looking at two of the top personalities of 2020 and the times we are living in and how they are coming across. Now, why have I chosen these two? Because there's so many leaders in the world, but I've chosen these two because they're leading the world's two biggest democracies. And while one is the president of the United States and the other is Prime Minister Modi, they each have very strong personal brands. Prime Minister Modi just crossed 50 million people who follow him on Twitter, where he personally tweets. And President Trump has 69 million followers. Just to bring the difference, the BJP has 30 million followers, but President Modi, Prime Minister Modi, has 50 million. So they are coming across personally. They give their point of view, which is, which is not just what the party says. They have to stand for something too. Now, there are two very different leadership styles emerging at this time. There is one of them who is very confusing, every day says different things, has perhaps not provided the right leadership. And, there's a big mess in that country. The other one took timely decisions, whatever may be the situation, you like, you don't like, nobody will say that he did the wrong thing with this. And this is leadership, so let's keep that in mind as we go ahead, and let's watch and see that at the end of the whole COVID crisis, how these two emerge. Okay, does the man on top come back into power? Does Prime Minister Modi go on to world bodies? Let's watch. Now, here is the point. Everyone has a brand, whether you know it or not. So are you channeling it? Is it cohesive? Have you thought about it? Everyone has a brand, okay? And good personal brands can lead to a promotion or a better job, for sure. And it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be just the top layer in a company. It can be the youngest management trainee who's joined in, or the youngest person in an educational institution. New business leads and contracts for your business. Because remember one thing, when you are choosing someone you want to work with, or you are choosing people you want to give a contract to, you prefer to go to people who are known, and you prefer to work with people that you like. That is called brand affinity. How much do I like you? How much do I want to engage with you? So if you are really good, but you haven't brought it out, then that's a very well kept secret, which only you know. So that's the thing. One has to channel it and bring it out. And I think there are a lot of young people here today. So please do think about it. Okay. You can't have yourself as a different person on Instagram, something else on Facebook, something else on YouTube, behaving something else in real life. You cannot be a mishmash of confusion. So start thinking, what is your goalpost and where are you going to anchor yourself? Okay. Of course, it leads to recognition in the industry and so much more. So when I was coming to speak to your institute, I did a bit of reading, and I looked at the websites and I looked at the people. And there was a very interesting word I saw in your brand name up there, which is, peace, the word peace. And I think it's a beautiful word. I have seen some of the things that you all are doing. I don't know too much, because it's just what I've read. But I think for students, for educationists, in these times of stress and misery, and not just COVID, okay, but the kind of pressure people are under, to come to a place which is, while it's teaching, it's also bringing in some of these concepts, is very nice. So the question you're going to say is, Jayashree is here. She's saying, build your personal brand. What do we do? Where do we start? So yeah, here's where we're going to start. So when we start working on a brand, there are 4 very basic questions we ask, which are actually very hard to answer. It is, who are you? So that is really the brand positioning statement. What are you? That is the advertising positioning statement. And then there is, what about you? So how differentiated are you? How relevant are you? And lastly, what about you and me? So where is our relationship? How are we resonating with each other? Do we resonate at all? Am I interested in you? Today, there's so much noise, and the consumer doesn't give you a second chance. So you have to be very focused, and you have to target correctly and get people to listen to you. So let's look at some of the tools. Firstly, Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Okay, and you can see a copycat from far away, and you don't want to be copying anyone, because there is enough in you that you can channelize. So begin by doing what I would call a personal brand audit. Get some feedback. Just don't plan it out on your own. Ask the people you value, and this can be your parents, your family, your peer group, your colleagues, your superiors, your ex-students, your current students. What do they think of you? What is it, that value that you create? And what words, concepts, and ideas come to mind when they think of you? Do they think of you as a good crisis manager? Do they think of you as someone who's looking at trends? Do they think of you as a person who takes beautiful pictures? Do they think of you as a person who's rock solid? Do they think of you as a person who is detailed oriented? What is it? Get some feedback, okay? By the end of this, you should have what I call your brand mantra. So think about it, take in all the feedback, think of where you'd like to go, drill a bit deep, okay? Look into your brand DNA and think of a brand voice. How would you like to come across? You should have 1 to 3 sentences, okay, for yourself. Small, pithy, each word should work, which should really have, it should constitute your value, your audience, who are you going to target and how are you going to serve them, okay? And which channels are you going to be on? And once you've decided, it doesn't mean that you need to be bombarding people every day, because that's like having a conversation with yourself, because people are going to run away. So even one solid, good message every day, and then people start waiting for you. You know, what is this person going to come and say? What is this person? I'm going to get some value out of this. And then over 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you start standing for something. Okay. Now, by the end of this, as I said, you should have your 1 to 3. So I tried to fill this for myself. I'm not talking about my corporate career, but my teaching career, which has now been 12, 13 years. So I said, you know, let me put this simply for the sake of this presentation I was writing. And I think you could check this out with my students. What is the value that I bring to the classroom? Of course, one is I bring in a lot of live, real life examples from my working life, but I teach through storytelling. So I hate to have slides which have 40 bullet points and, you know, the whole class is asleep. So I don't like to operate like that. Of course, every slide cannot be a story, but I try to leave 2 or 3 big points through storytelling so that it has retentive value. And therefore, when I walk the talk, a lot of my presentations are written in quotation marks. They're written like conversations, because that is walking the talk of what my value I'm bringing into the class. My audience, I look at students, because you would have seen in the biodata that, you know, I am not a permanent faculty anywhere. I've chosen to be a visiting faculty. So my relationship is with my students. And how do I communicate with them? Well, it's largely through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And of course, WhatsApp and, you know, other methods also. But yeah, by and large through this. And so let's look at how do you build your brand. The first thing is be memorable, be original, and be differentiated. And I am really pointing out at this word differentiated, because the moment you're differentiated, you become original. And if you're original, you start getting memorable. And how of it. So this is what I always say, have a point of view. Just don't be those people who say, you know, when you say, will you have tea or coffee? And someone says, anything. Will you have Coke or Pepsi? Anything. Just don't be that person. Have a point of view. And I would say a pointy point of view. So today, for example, the technology sector is so huge. And you say, okay, I'm going to build my value in technology. What? Which? So choose a niche of a niche, and start becoming an expert there. Stand for something. Have expertise. Be differentiated. Don't be all things to all people. Because then you're that Kirana shop, you know, who's keeping surf and who's keeping a jhadu and a pocha and tiger biscuit and Colin, you know, cleaner. You're not that person. You are a differentiated person with a good value. Okay. I now here bring in Richard Branson, my very favorite example over here. He's the founder of the Virgin Group, $5.1 billion group. Okay. What words come to mind when you think of Sir Richard Branson? Now, this was very easy for me because he's put his own personal value or personal brand right there on his Twitter bio. He says, I'm a tie-loathing adventurer, a philanthropist, troublemaker who believes in turning ideas into reality, otherwise known as Dr. Yes at Virgin. Now, just look at that. There are 8.2 million followers he has on Twitter, whereas Virgin Atlantic has 229,000. So his personal brand has 75 times more followers than the company brand. And therefore, if you have such a wonderful person leading the company and his DNA is rubbing off onto the Virgin brand, okay, which is actually, if you look at him, he says, don't call me Sir Richard. Everyone in the office calls him Richard. Sometimes he turns up to work in shorts. But that doesn't mean that he's not serious about his work. He creates brilliant value. And he says, you know, he was a dyslexic, he was a school dropout. And he himself says people considered him to be the dumbest guy in school. So he wanted to work on something different. And he said, school magazine, nobody would allow me to touch. So he launched at the age of 18 an inter-school school magazine where he talked about music and the Vietnam War, which is what all young people were interested in. So, you know, that value creation process began there. How did he start Virgin Atlantic? He was a young man and he was flying back from Puerto Rico to London and the flight got cancelled. And he had a date at the other end, which he didn't want to miss. So he chartered a plane and he could have flown in that plane alone, but he sold tickets for £39, one-way ticket, and he took a whole bunch of people with him. And that's how the idea of, you know, launching an airline came into him. He is fearless. He jumps off buildings, you know, to launch a brand. You remember Virgin Mobile? What a irreverent, fun brand it was when we had it in India. Well, it's all coming out of his personality also. Closer home, and of course, you know, this is our religion, cricket. And there are tons of cricketers and they are very, very talented. But I have zeroed in on two, both leaders, both captain of India. If you look at Saurav Ganguly, he took over cricket at a time when it was in its darkest phase. Okay, there was match fixing, we were not winning at all. It was just a miserable time. And they had to look for somebody who was honest, which he was. But when he came in, he said, look, as a captain, I need performance. And what was the value he brought to Indian cricket? Very clear one line value when he sat and thought. He said, if we don't win internationally, we are worth nothing. And then he went around crafting his team, right from a Sehwag to a Yuvraj to a Zayak, even MS Dhoni. Sorry?
त्याचं ते अकाउंट जे आहे
Unmuted. I've muted all. Please continue.
Okay. And then on the other hand, we have Virat Kohli, who is like cut of the same cloth, which is also very aggressive. I think even more aggressive than Ganguly. Definitely has a pointy point of view, which is I am fearless and I will do what it takes to make India win. And that comes out of a deep personal excellence at the game. And today, Ganguly is sitting on the top apex body of cricket, which is BCCI. So this is the value they have created. These are their personal brands. Okay. Now, moving on. The second broad point I want to talk about is be genuine, be honest, and walk the talk. So don't just, if we just write something and leave it there, it's of no use. We have to walk the talk. And being genuine is the how of it. The offline and online personality should match and be consistent. And I'm sure all of you have seen in your life examples of people who their online personality is so different. And when you meet the person offline, there is a sense of disappointment. Oh, this is that person. But you know, the kind of things they write or, you know, the way they come across over there is not this person, which means that person is doing a lot of copying, you know, stealing ideas and things like that. So your online and offline personality should match. And you should keep drilling your skill set. It's not a one-time thing that aaj personal brand bana diya or dal diya and now I'm chill. It's not that. You have to keep building at it. So if you have taken something that, okay, you are going to be the one who's going to find mobile, trends that are going to come in our phones. Then you have to keep looking for that, and you've got to keep placing it out there with your input so that people get interested. Oh, okay, so Rajiv is coming with his thing, which means he's going to tell us something new. Because actions speak louder than words, okay? Now, my most favorite example here is Milan Soman. And see, this is another example of somebody very, very simple, went to a Marathi medium school. He's from Dadar in Bombay, very middle class, born, of course, with superstar looks. And, he was India's supermodel, and then he got a lot of work on television and a bit of Bollywood, and he was doing fine. He had enough money and fame. But he himself said at the age of 37, he was extremely frustrated in life. And he was sitting in his drawing room one day and reading the newspaper, and he saw that, the marathon, which is run worldwide, they were going to bring that to India. So he was working on a movie at that time, and he went and he started working out, and he said, okay, I'll run the half marathon first. Well, cutting a long story short, he's 57 today, 20 years hence, he has taken this as his value creation to make India's fitness revolution. At the age of 50, okay, he became Ironman. You know what Ironman is? That you have to cycle, swim, and run a lot of things in about an X number of hours. He's India's Ironman, and it's phenomenal. And the latest thing I see of him in this lockdown is that he is skipping on the terrace of his house with his 81-year-old mother. So it is not just him. He is trying to tell everyone, no matter what age you may be, you can get fit. So these are people who have strong personal brands because they are generating a value and bringing it across to people. Bill and Melinda Gates, and I'm not talking about Microsoft and his brilliant brain, which is there on Netflix for everyone to see, but he is considered the last big-hearted billionaire, a genius, but who's doing so much good. He's taken up states in India, for example, Bihar, into the depths of every village. They talk to women about, all women issues which nobody brings out there. Lots of money is being poured into this. And, on the other hand, in his personal brand, he makes statements like, I'm not somebody who's terribly fond of buying clothes and jewelry. Once in a while, I buy something nice for my wife. So he's not that flashy, flamboyant. He has all the money in the world to do it. So all this goes back into your personal brand that, you have set aside so much money because you're so rich, and you have set it aside for the public good. Or another wonderful example is Sudha Murthy. Again, a very simple girl from Pune, very middle class home. And she was the first girl who did engineering in her college. There was no other girl in the class. And when she passed out and she was applying for a job to Telco, in the fine print at the bottom, it was written that women candidates need not apply. But she had the gumption to write right up to JRD Tata and say that, why this discrimination? So Telco actually paid for her ticket, to go a round trip ticket. She went for the interview. She was so impressive. They gave her the job. And many years later, when Narayan Murthy, was wanting to start Infosys, he told her about it. And she said, I will give you 3 years. I will work and keep the family afloat, and you go and do your startup. Okay. Now, when she was leaving, she met JRD Tata, and he said, you're doing so well, why are you leaving? And she said, no, we are starting our own company, etc. So he said, if you do well, remember to pay back. Well, she is walking the talk, because while she is an author, she writes child fiction, she's a technocrat, she's on the board of Infosys, her life's work is upliftment. And she has adopted rural areas. She travels 22 days a month in rural areas, from orphanages to building toilets for girls, a lot of good work in this area. So while we're looking at all these celebrated examples, I think I'd like to pause and see, what what some of the pitfalls have been, and brands that became so big and how they fell, and we have to really guard against that. So here is one, and you all know him, and we were all taken with him so much. When IPL started, he was a brilliant ideator. I mean, BCCI was this rich body with staid men running it, in a very staid kind of way. But he came out with this idea that India should have a league. And they said, okay, you be the chairman of it, but you go sell it. He got 8 people in, he got in a lot of money. He sold television rights for $512 million the first year. Very entrepreneurial, became the darling of the media and of the masses. Because India finally got its entertaining form of cricket. And in the hot summer months, you had something wonderful to watch. But then, very fast, the brand started eroding because it came under a cloud. When you become too big for your boots, when your arrogance knows no control, when there is fraud, when there's a cloud, and you all know today he's a fugitive and he's not even able to come back to India. Okay, and he's hiding undercover somewhere else. Or this gentleman, Baba Ramdev, who actually started India's yoga revolution. We all used to tune in. People used to do the exercise in front of the TV. He was a very genial, kind, sort of sweet man who made you laugh and told everybody, just do yoga as much as you can. Don't push yourself. But then suddenly, when he became very big, some years later, he started wanting to dabble in politics. And he started aligning himself into politics. After that, he said, let me start Patanjali, which was still okay till there, because, the time value is Ayurveda, back to basics, yoga. But Patanjali grew very fast. It went to 10,000 crores. And suddenly there was brand dilution because Patanjali started selling baby diapers. It started selling jeans. How can you have ghee and jeans in the same brand? So there was dilution. You don't hear or see much of him anymore. By the way, yesterday I saw him on Twitter. A news item of him on Twitter, where he has said, take a bit of mustard oil and push it through one nostril. It will go down your pipe into your stomach and it will kill coronavirus as it goes. And somebody there has put that news item and said that, when will this fraud be put inside the jail? Now, I'm not taking sides, okay? But I'm saying the news around him is not that good anymore. So what if he had stuck to his knitting, which was yoga? And being a yoga instructor, was his job over? It wasn't. So many of you are so young. You may not have been so exposed to him. India is a young country. 75% of India is below 34 years old. Could have done with him for years. Let's move on to the third broad point, which is to stay relevant. Timing is everything. You have to stay relevant means you need to come on time into matters because it helps your brand. So the how of this, evolve and stay contemporary. In fact, try to be ahead of the curve. Don't be a follower. Leaders always stay ahead of the curve. Crafting your brand is not a one-time process. Keep incorporating new knowledge. Develop some new knowledge of your own. Come out with hypotheses. Try to prove it. I think there's no better example than Mr. Bachchan. And, if I talk about him, it can take 2 hours. Excuse me. But what I want to say is that I just read an article on him 2 days ago, which was actually pretty amazing to know that he's completed 50 years as an artist, 50 years of his 77. And all the phases of his life. He was the angry young man. And then from there, and he was hugely successful. And then from there, he became a politician and went through a very bad phase in his life. And after which, when he was 100 crore in debt, he took a risk and went into television, which nobody went into in those days because small, medium, small people. But he came with a new idea, which was KBC, a game show. And it took India by storm. But I don't want to talk of any of those phases. I want to talk of him today. He's 77 years old, but I say he's the youngest man in India because he, more than younger people, have understood that to keep his personal brand intact and to be able to communicate, he has adopted to the online world. Today, he has something like, I think, 18 million followers between Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And while he posts about plenty of things, some of them are very funny also. So I think his younger base, he carries them with him. It's not just old and serious. And he is talking a lot about coronavirus also. Just 2 days back, he wrote something very funny. He said, you know, we have a living room in our house where we all sit and chill. और हम बातें कर रहे थे, and then suddenly एक चमगादड़ उड़ के आ गई, a bat. ये मेरे घर में क्यों आ गई? So, you know, very timely talking things of the day, but being there, being communicative with your target, his target audience, which is everyone who watches him. And another great example, the Tata Group, known for trust. You know, we trust that group. And Ratan Tata at the helm of it, very understated, great business leader, philanthropist. But as soon as the coronavirus thing broke out in India, who was the first of the block to announce 1,500 crores to the Prime Minister's fund, or whichever area he gave that money to? It was Ratan Tata, which definitely helps his personal brand. Okay. And again, totally otherwise, you know, Sehwag, way past his playing years. Okay, and he did play a bit of IPL and things like that. But I was just checking out, he's got 20 million followers on Twitter. He would have been like a lot of other cricketers, you know, buried in the annals of cricketing records. But today, he's very relevant because he keeps his mass base alive. And why is that? He's very funny. He's very witty, and sorry, he's very topical and he's very witty. So every time there is something that's topical, Sehwag is there with a funny tweet. And it brings a smile to your lips. And today, who doesn't want a little chuckle and a little smile? And, you know, it just helps to build his personal brand in your head, which is warm, love, funny, and you like the guy. Okay, so when he gives commentary or when he gets other work, you are there, the first person to listen to him. And that's how he's keeping his personal brand alive. Akshay Kumar, again, you know, he's a self-made man, he's fearless. There is a study that was just carried out by the Economic Times, and it was published in Brand Equity 2 weeks ago. It's a study done by the Indian Institute of Human Brands, and they were measuring celebrity, you know, where's their index. Akshay Kumar got 10 on 10, and can you guess why? Because as soon as COVID hit, he went into his personal fund and he gave 25 crores. Not only he, his wife also tweeted and said that as soon as he came to me, I said, yes, we should do it. And it took us some time. We had to get into our, you know, personal money, see from where we can dig out this kind of money. On that index, he has got 10 on 10. Okay. Another little value differentiation he has made in the last 5-6 years is the kind of movies he's doing. They are all nationalistic issues. If it is Padman, it's about women's menstruation. If it's toilet, it's about the lack of toilets that people have. If it's about airlift, it's about a heroic Indian who went and, you know, rescued people in the Middle East. So his themes are like that, but he was timely and he walked the talk, and it has gone into his personal brand. He's a 10 on 10. Now, some good examples from the educational field. The director of IIT Bombay on March 17 posted this to all the students studying abroad. You know, US universities are closed due to coronavirus. And he's saying this is specifically for all our recent graduates who are currently doing higher studies in US universities. A large number of US universities are closed. We have got a lot of alumni over there, and we can request them to help you. Okay? And it's so wonderful coming from the director. Definitely builds on his personal brand, and it rubs off onto the brand of IIT Bombay that, you know, there are these moves happening. Or the University of Pennsylvania, where the president and the dean of the Wharton School, you know, have launched a course actually on coronavirus, epidemics, national disasters, geopolitics, etc. So similarly, the Kellogg School of Management are doing live hours. And just like your university is doing these erudition programs and so many more things, it will definitely help to build back into your brand. The fourth and the last big mega point I want to take you through is be visible and be consistent. And the word here I want to focus on is consistent. How do you do that? You create content around one topic, a niche within a niche. So don't be a jack of all trades. It's very hard to keep up with it. Okay? It's not about likes and comments. It's about shareability. I'll give you my personal example here. On Facebook, or what I like to post on social media, and I think if there's anybody here who knows me personally, I like to post about India. And I don't like to post about known things about India. I post about travels and I post about common life in India. So you'll find a post from me about the man who goes around with toys, or, you know, the rediwalas who put mumfali and sell in winter, or the people who clean parks, you know, how do they behave? And I try to make it interesting with stories and about Indians who are not that known or that well celebrated. So just maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I posted a story about a female pilot, you know, who was a commander of the Air India flight that went to Rome to bring back all the Indians stranded there. But the interesting data I put in is that 14% of all pilots in India are women, the highest anywhere in the world. And that makes a story. And within half an hour, I had 10 shares of that post. You know, and it's a personal account. Okay, I'm not a company or something. So I'm saying, how do you make, you know, so people look forward. Okay, what is Jayashree going to post next? Because kuch na kuch to bolti hai, you know, and I try to work around that. So I'm going to talk about the lady in the middle, because the lady on the two sides you know very well. But the lady in the middle, I don't know how many of you know. She's a person called Rujuta Devekar. She's a nutritionist, a yoga expert, somebody who's in the health area. And her value, because every second person today is in health. They're telling you to eat this or to do this exercise or to sleep better hours. You know the drill. But what is Rujuta's story? It is back to Indian basics. So she keeps pushing that eat local, eat seasonal, eat what your grandmother told you to eat. Have ghee, it is not bad. Okay, and every day she comes live with one exercise and one food tip. Okay, and she's written a number of books. She has her YouTube channel. She's across all platforms, whether it is Twitter, Instagram, Poster, wherever she is. And of course, she has name and fame because a lot of famous people use her. But she's very basic. When you see her, I mean, she doesn't look like this. She always appears without makeup. And she's pushing Indian agriculture. She's pushing Indian farmers. She's pushing that whole agenda. That's what I'm saying. Her work is big. Okay. And I think another 5 minutes. Yeah, this is another great example, Barkha Dutt, you know, because Barkha Dutt was one of the first women who made it, you know, somewhere high up in the Indian media world. But her brand has kept changing, because when she went to the Kargil war, apparently she let out something about Tiger Hill. And then closer home, it was the Neera Radia tapes time. There was a bit of a cloud over her. And then during the 26/11 attacks, apparently her reporting, got a lot of information given out to the enemy. So yet, big name. And the last 3-4 years, she had sort of disappeared, and nothing was working out. She came through a bit with Kapil Sibal's channel, then a little bit with Shekhar Gupta. But right now, she has a company called Mojo.in. She is walking the length and breadth of India with the migrant workers. It's her day 40 or 30 or something. Every day she's posting stories from little towns and villages. She's got, I think, 7-8 million followers on Twitter, and you should see the goodwill she has. People say, like, you are doing such phenomenal work, because it is pushing the government to, it is putting a spotlight. It's getting the government to look into this. So yeah, that is, you can always reinvent your brand at any point in time in your life. This is my favorite guy. MS Dhoni, Captain Cool, brought the small town dreams alive. But I think a little lack of judgment, or maybe he's just keeping quiet unnecessarily. But in this whole Indian Institute of Human Brands thing, there was news that he gave 1 lakh, and even if he's given 20 crores, he's not been public with it. And it's fine, don't be public with it. But when this kind of stuff comes out, that your net worth is 800 crore and you've donated 1 lakh, and people are being so sarcastic to him, it definitely takes the edge off your brand. So even if you gave 1 lakh somewhere, do it quietly, or I don't know. I don't want to comment on this too much, but I think it's a little unfortunate. Oprah Winfrey, one of the biggest personal brands you have, says your personal brand is not based on what you know, it is based on what you share. My personal brand is not what I know of myself, it is what you know of me. Now 45 minutes have passed, all of you are forming an impression of me. Okay, so there is some value I have delivered today, maybe zero value, maybe 100% value, I don't know. But some impression has been formed, and it is, the value I bring when I teach or when I make a talk, it is in this kind of arena. And so last 2-3 slides, how do I get started? And, maybe you can take a picture of the slide. Define your value in 1 to 3 sentences. Find your brand voice, find your DNA. You can look at the brand identity prism, it's there on the net, and try to fill it up for yourself. Identify your audience. Is it students? Is it colleagues? Is it personal networks? And how are you going to serve them? Okay. Which platforms do you want to engage with them on? Where is your audience? You need to find that. Create and publish content regularly. Mix up the style of contents, and topics frequently. Some fun, some serious. Stay focused and the results will show. Since we are, doing this for an institute, definitely, you guys are doing an amazing job, but profile of faculty, administration people, posting regularly about student achievements, about the alumni network, appointing students to do Instagram and Facebook takeovers for the day, heads of your student organizations, posting regularly about your alumni achievements, staying relevant with a current focus on current affairs. So how many people are going for podcasts or writing blogs or presenting papers at various institutions, or Facebook Live, or faculty expertise on COVID, or YouTube? How much is getting posted on the YouTube? How many likes, how much of shareability do your posts get? For example, how will this pandemic impact the manufacturing sector, the tech sector, or the hospitality sector, or whatever? There are so many topics. And really, it is this simple. Tom Peters has said, it is this simple. You are a brand, you're in charge of your brand. There is no single path to success. You can create the best brand. You start today. Thank you so much for listening to me. And we can get ahead with the next part. Thank you.
Yeah. So we have many questions here, ma'am. I'm sorry, I just had some network issue and I got literally scared for a second because I completely lost my connectivity.
The whole presentation went through, right? Because I couldn't see myself on screen. So
yeah. No, sometimes I don't know. I just lost it and everything got blank for a second. And being the host, I lost it.
I'm asking, did my bit go through the full thing?
No. Everything perfectly went. I just had a connectivity issue last 1 second. Okay. Just last 1 second. And even the 1 second being the host, if I lose the connectivity, the entire thing goes for a toss. Again, thank you very much. I'm sure everybody just loved it. And I think the numbers are saying that, yes, they all loved it because we have 225 people live watching this right now. And I'm practically flooded with questions. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to take them because it's absolutely sure that I'll not be able to take all of them.
I would just like to tell people that you can follow me on Twitter or LinkedIn or email.com. You can email me, whatever. So
yeah. But definitely, I would love to take few questions and I have to scroll. Wow, I mean, so many questions. Well, let me then begin by saying sorry to almost all of you because there are hundreds of questions and I'll not be able to take all of them. So let me quickly start. So I will have to request you, ma'am, if you could please keep your answers brief so that I can take as many questions and so that I can try and keep many people happy here.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So here's the first question coming from Dr. Anjali Sane, who asks, should I focus on becoming more successful, accomplished, and skilled, and then start building my personal brand?
No, not at all. You can start now because your personal brand will help you to get more accomplished, more skilled, and more whatever. Just start. Everybody can start right now.
Right. The next question. Okay. So I think there are 2-3 questions up one after the other. So I'll read all of them. Should I focus on becoming? How can I make my personal brand stand out if I'm not already a super successful or well-known kind of thing?
Yeah. So that's exactly why I took all the examples. I think except for Ratan Tata were people who were self-made, and they started somewhere. Now, you can say that, yeah, Sudha Murthy, when she started, that time there was nothing. But, you have, everybody today has this huge advantage of having the online presence. So you can certainly start and you can look at how you can differentiate yourself. Just what I mean is, don't just be a generalist of sab kuch I'm doing, So even if you want to, if you're very good at gardening, say, and you say that I want to just talk about how to make flowers or plants, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in your field of work, but that's an interesting aspect to your brand. Start somewhere and keep building. Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, before going ahead, if I may request you to stop sharing your presentation so that we can see you on the big screen.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, here comes the next question from Diksha Bedekar, who asks, in the world full of fake profiles, how to recognize the real brand? Because marketing itself is branded as to brand, what is it's not. So the world is full of fake profiles. How to probably understand or recognize?
The world is full of fake profiles. Where? On the internet or where?
She doesn't say anything about that. She just says how to recognize the real brand.
That's a good question, because you know there are a lot of fake people out there, and sometimes it's hard to tell. But you know, you can tell a fake from a mile away, because they are usually people who copy, or they just sit and they don't post anything. One of the first things I see when I see people wanting to follow me, I see if they post anything. Usually, if they don't post anything, I know that they're just fakes and they're just out there to create trouble.
True. Okay. The next question comes from Varsha Nirlikar, who asks, can you please throw some light as to how an entrepreneur, an employee, maybe create a brand for himself or herself?
An entrepreneur?
Intrapreneur. An employee. So how just an employee working for an organization create a brand?
Well, you can create a brand at any level. So you can be the most young person over there, but you can create a brand for yourself exactly by what I've said. That, you know, first go and find your brand audit. So ask people what value. Everyone is creating some value. Okay. So if you're a person who's creating a value in whatever X, Y, Z, suppose you're a person who's very good at crunching data. Okay. Or you love reading trends through data. Then start just putting that out. Start putting out some trends. I don't know this person who's asked the question. You know, whatever you're good at, take it and build.
I think she's a professor in the postgraduate MBA school.
Wow, so fantastic. So if you are doing any original work, if you are publishing a paper, or you are looking into any original research, or you're looking at some trends, or even the classes you're running, you know, some of the things that happened in the class, you can profile your students, anything, just wherever you're finding an interest and some fun and value, just build on it and start from there.
True. Thank you, ma'am. The next question is coming from Kajal, and she asks, she says, hi, ma'am. Our brand is only determined by the number of followers on social media. Is it the case?
Well, you know, start even with one follower. Get your family to follow you, and it will keep building. The moment you start putting in some interesting stuff, you will get followers. Because when people start sharing what you say, when people start commenting on what you do, you will get followers. Everyone has to start somewhere. So don't worry. But yes, of course, the more followers you get, the more successful you are. So you will have to, you know, build on that. And for that, you have to be interesting.
Oh, sure. The next question is coming to us all the way from Ghaziabad. Mr. Jugesh Chandar is asking the question. If we take up the case of Reliance Jio, this is the aggressive marketing which prevailed over branding, as competitors of Reliance will also stand over the strong brands. What are your comments?
Well, Reliance Jio is a mass market brand. It's not a personal brand. But yeah, to answer your question, they definitely have the muscle power of the Reliance Group. And I think it was a personal baby of Mukesh Ambani. And he put all his might behind it, and he's pushed it through. And I won't say they've had the greatest advertising. That's very boring advertising. But, you know, they have saturated the consumer. Being said that, they had some very interesting marketing schemes. For a long time, they were free. Okay. And they have walked the talk, because as a brand, I think they are delivering. And just now we've seen Mark Zuckerberg has put in a lot of money into this brand. So yeah, it's a good success story.
Thank you. The next question is coming from Professor Abhijit Chavan, and I think that is the question every teacher would have. How a teacher can keep his personal brand alive and relevant through social media platforms, because if wrongly perceived, Indian society reacts very harshly.
No, I agree with you. And I'm a teacher from the last 13 years, and I'm very careful with the kind of relationship I have with my students. And, the point up to which I will go with them and I will not. And so there is nothing very overly um, friendly on my platforms. One-on-one may be a different thing. But definitely my ex-students or my current students, they will always get something. So my area of expertise is, I teach integrated marketing communications and strategic brand management. And I keep commenting on these things. So I will not just take something someone else has written about a brand and just post it there, post the link. No, 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 no. It'll have my point of view. And it may not be the popular point of view, but it will have a point of view. So all professors and all teachers, we have some subjects we are working on. If post those, something that happened in the classroom, or suppose one of my most blockbuster classes is my celebrity management class, because students love that class. Okay. But sometimes I post about it, but it won't be to say Akshay Kumar acted so well in that movie. No, that is not my role as a teacher. But I can bring him into a presentation and tell you about his value as a brand. So, we have to keep crafting interesting things that the students read about. But definitely to have a line, and any original work you are doing. And it's all about having a pointy point of view, just have a point of view. It need not be a generalist. Take up a topic and push at it, keep pushing at it. And people will come to you. They'll want to know what you're saying.
Thank you, ma'am. I've already crossed my time limit. I'm 2 minutes plus. But let me quickly take one last question. And I'm really, really sorry to all the people out there, because I know, and please understand, I'll not be able to take all the questions, not possible. But let me take this last question, which is asked by Professor Sadananda Petkar. And he asks, a person with principles wouldn't get accepted easily by others or society. So how could one with principles can develop his own personal brand?
I think we need to have a little longer conversation, because, a person with principles does get accepted, actually. People do like people with strong personal principles, if they're good principles. So I'm not understanding this question properly. And Professor,
sure.
I think we need to have a conversation on this before I can answer it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here today. And now I think it's time when I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. M.T. Rao, sir, to kindly address.
Okay, thank you, Gautam. I normally don't take more than 30 seconds to do my concluding remarks. Today I'll take a longer by making you a villain in private. Please extend.
So we are losing you in between, sir.
Sorry?
We lost you. Could you please repeat?
Okay, I said I would. I normally take 30 seconds to conclude. Today I'm taking longer by making you a villain. I sent you a message in private and in public to extend the session by 15 minutes. You didn't care to listen to the request of the Vice Chancellor. So
I'm sorry. Hold on.
Be prepared for some action by the Vice Chancellor.
Oh my God! Hold on. Let me find out where I've lost that.
So I sent you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. No. Coming back to you, Jayashree. I've been into many webinars. I've never made this request to Gautam. I just say thanks very much to the speaker and end there. Today the talk was so good and so many questions. I wanted it to go on and on and on, not even 15 minutes, which I formally requested.
Sir, I could have gone on and on and on. I have so much prepared on this.
I mean, if I don't know why
You're
Gautam has
still
become a
down to
big villain for
45.
me. You are a delight. You are a delight. Is a simple. I mean, I can't explain bigger than that. You are such a delight. We would want to have a session 2. Gautam, first things first. When are we having Jayashree next? After that only I'll come to my group.
I think ma'am is here. I think we can ask her directly, ma'am. Can you join us? I'm really sorry. In this entire jargon of chats, I completely lost his message. But yes, could you please join us again?
It would be my pleasure.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Sorry. I mean, I'm supposed to be giving a formal concluding remarks, but as a vice chancellor, I'm supposed to be very formal. But I thought for once, let me go in a lighter vein. You were such a delight, Jayashree. You are such a delight. It's, I think all of us would like to have 1, 2, 3 more sessions.
Thank you so much, sir. It'll be my pleasure and my honor to do it for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone who joined us today. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again on behalf of Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do take care of yourself. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for taking time out. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes. And we'll definitely, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir said, I would get back to you requesting one more session.
Okay.
Thank you once again. Our next, thank you, ma'am.
A pleasure to work with. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have not been able to see anything, but have people logged out or?
No, almost 135 people are still there.
Okay. You know, this has been
Yeah.
my little picture from the side. I just had my PowerPoint open and I was just talking into a screen.
I don't know really why this happened today, but because when we tried, everything went on smoothly, and I was expecting the same would happen. But nevertheless, not a problem. But because it was really a wonderful session, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed it. Thank you very much, my friends. Let me quickly share with you that the next session, which is really important session for all of us, would be delivered by Dr. Sandeep Puri, Associate Professor of Asian Institute of Management, all the way from Manila, Philippines. And it is on 2nd of May, 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So I'm sure I'll see all of you back there joining us. Thank you very much for today. Thank you, ma'am, once again for joining us. Thank you very much. If I may have Dr. Rajiv Thakur saying a few words.
Thank you, Rajiv Thakur. He's the one who invited me.
Good evening, ma'am, and it was really very hi. Thank you, and I just I will certainly work out a next date as has been desired by the Honorable Vice Chancellor. And let me also share this in this platform that in my career, in my life, in the beginning of the career, directly or indirectly, few brands and few people who really mattered most is one I can see on the screen. And Gautam, someone you saw, the other gentleman standing next to her towards the beginning, Mr. R. Sundar, he himself happens to be a great brand, a great human being. I had an opportunity to work under him, and he was the executive director at Times of India, a brand in himself. And the brand Times of India that we see today is made, and it has been nurtured by people like him. So grateful to him. My regards to him as well. Thank you, ma'am. And I could see a couple of colleagues from Times of India also to have joined this webinar. Tina was there and Rajat was there and a couple of more. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajiv, for thinking of me, and thank you, Gautam, once again. And
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It was indeed a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.